A man is being questioned in a room. He appears to be badly beaten up but seemingly unbothered by the presence of police officers. He takes out a lighter and puffs on his cigarette, feeds the kitty. The officers inquire about his identity, wondering who exactly this guy is, as his information is nowhere to be found on their database. To which he replied, "I'm nobody." Hutch Mansell is a decent, docile, and calm-looking family man. He is tired and sick of the way things have been lately. He's seeking a way out of his mundane, humdrum existence. A burglary occurs in Mansell's home one night. 2 robbers broke in. Hutch grabs a golf bat and swings it at one of the intruders in the head. Then his son appears, brawling with the other. Blake, his teenager son, wrestles with the thief, while the other person points a gun at Hutch's head. Hutch noticed something about these burglars that prompted him to request Blake let them go. Blake, who clearly has no respect for his father, became enraged and even more disappointed in him. Hutch was disappointed in himself when he discovered how these burglars got in and threatened his family. Blake, his son, drifts further away from him as a result of this incident. So, too, is his marriage to his wife. They haven't been intimate in a long time, and the spirit of marriage appears to have left the bedroom. Everyone underestimates him, except Abby, his daughter, the only person who shows affection towards him. Abby has a kitty cat bracelet that she adores. The intruders appear to have stolen it that night. He decided he'll take it back for Abby and so as his watch. Hutch works for his father-in-law, Eddie, in his metal fabrication business. He went to work the next day after the burglary and then saw his brother-in-law, Charlie. Hutch is well aware that he regards him as a weak coward. Charlie is adamant about giving Hutch a gun. Hutch hides it in refrigerator so that he can't use it. He sees his father-in-law seconds later. Hutch was expressing an interest in purchasing Eddie's company. Eddie appears to be willing to accept his offer, but Eddie is still negotiating his price. Hutch entered his office. He switches on the radio, which appears to be a hidden phone line to his brother. He explains to his brother why he didn't fight them, stating that he knew they weren't professional thieves and that they appeared scared and desperate, carrying unloaded guns. Hutch appears to be an expert and observer, as evidenced by his detailed description of the weapon. He goes to see his father, who is in a retirement home, after he gets off work. David, his father, notices his son's troubled expression and he reminds Hutch of himself, or what he used to be. Clearly, just a father trying to instill confidence and cheer up his son. Hutch arrived home. Becca and Blake are setting up the table for dinner. He's gone into cheerful father mode, asks everyone about their day. Then, Abby mentioned that the kitty cat bracelet was gone. The little girl asks Hutch if thieves may have stolen it that night. Hutch walks out the front door a few moments later. Everybody wonder where he's going. He returned to the retirement home. While his father was sleeping, he went straight to the cabinet and took out his father's old badge and gun. Hutch is on the hunt for the intruders. He went to every tattoo parlor in the hopes of finding someone who could point him in the direction of the people he was looking for. A couple happily having their cup noodles dinner got stunned when Hutch managed to get into their apartment and appeared out of nowhere. He busted the man's nose with a gun. Hutch gets right down to business, asking for his watch, which they immediately hand over to him. They couldn't figure out what kitty cat bracelet he wanted. Suddenly a baby cries in a distant room. The couple was terrified. When he went to check it, baby appears to be sick and in need of oxygen to breathe. He was enraged by his emotions. He becomes so frustrated that he feels both guilt and anger toward these people. He immediately left the building. Hutch took the bus home. After their car crashed into a roadblock, a group of seemingly drunk, wealthy Russian mafia is about to board the same bus. Hutch was looking for something to release his frustration on, silently praying for them to board the bus. He smiles as he waits for this moment to allow the real Hutch to take over and beat up whoever deserves it. Hutch concluded that he could use the alibi of standing up for a girl against these gang. He gestured that he would not use his gun and declared a fist fight with 5 men. They make fun of him. Then he starts giving them a crippling fight they've never had before. When one of the group members tries to pick up the gun he dropped, the professional assassin in him comes out. He beats him so hard that he smashed the guy's airway. He performed an emergency airway puncture. Becca stays awake because she can't sleep, and then Hutch enters the door. At first, she can't see him, but then he appears, all beaten up and bloodied. "He had a terrible day," he said. Becca responds, "I see that." Becca tends to his husband's wounds and assists him in cleaning himself up. Hutch, finally be able to speak up about their lost intimacy and the issues they avoided discussing that were slowly tearing their marriage apart. Hutch reminds Rebecca of their former selves. At that precise moment, it appears that a large thorn has been extracted from Becca's chest, as well as the pillows in the center of their bed. The following scene shows a man entering a nightclub. Yulian Kuznetsov, a Russian mobster, is a powerful Russian mafia leader who is currently in charge of the criminal and drug money of the Obshak organization. This man's face is emblazoned with violence and power. Yulian appears to be having a good time being popular in clubs. He enjoys singing and dancing. Yulian went to meet with his drug-dealing associates. Moments later, he brutally murders a man in front of a large crowd in that club, to show his power and instill fear amongst his associates, that he cannot be messed up with. Yulian receives a call, and despite his hatred for his brother Teddy, he feels obligated to seek vengeance for him following the violent altercation with only one man that left his brother in critical condition. Hutch's life feels renewed after the bus fight. Becca comes to terms with reconnecting and resolving their marital problems. The following morning, while the family is eating breakfast, the phone rings. His brother, Harry, is calling. He learned that Hutch was involved in an attack with Yulian Kuznetsov's brother, Teddy. There is a man, they refer to as the barber. Harry persuades him to see the barber to know his adversary. He finally went in to check. Hutch receives information about Yulian Kuznetsov from the barber. Yulian is well known in the criminal underworld for his violent tactics as well as his wealth and power. Hutch realizes how much trouble he's gotten himself and his family into, as the crime lord will undoubtedly seek revenge on him. Hutch's personal information and profile are highly protected and inaccessible, but Yulian still managed to track down Hutch Mansell's location. Yulian sends his henchmen to attack Hutch's house, to assassinate him and his family. Hutch, on the other hand, turns out to be a highly trained and skilled hitman with a mysterious past as a government auditor. For high-profile criminals that government unable to apprehend, he was referred to as the last man you want to see at your door. He hides his family in the basement to keep them safe while he takes down Yulian's henchmen. He defeated the thugs. He called his father to inform him that things had escalated. Hutch begs his wife, Becca, to trust him again and relocate to a safer location for the time being. Hutch packed his hidden gold bars, burned down his house, and fled to plot his revenge on his adversary. Hutch planned his next move meticulously. At this point, it seems that Yulian reactivated the hella beast of a hitman Hutch once was. He went to his father-in-law, Eddie, and handed over the gold bars as payment for the purchase of Eddie's company. Hutch has taken over as the new management owner. As the fight ensues, Hutch realizes Yulian is a major threat to his family, so he planned to take down the Obshak warehouse-filling cash building that Yulian is looking after so they can be even. Yulian's biggest mistake was ordering the attack on him at home. Hutch annihilates the entire crime empire, kill his guard men, burn down every drug money to ashes and as well as his 8 to 9-digit art collections. In the club, following Yulian's performance, he notices Hutch staring at him, seemingly fearless. Yulian's henchmen have surrounded the location, but Hutch has a lot of guts to be in the lion's den. He came to talk, make a deal with Yulian, and put an end to their war. Yulian Kuznetsov was enraged to learn that he had annihilated the crime empire, as there was nothing left for the Obshak. The Russian mobster decided to put an end to it once and for all, by going after Hutch. He gathered all of his men. Hutch lured them to his workplace. When things are about to go south, his brother Harry appears, so does his father, David, which appears to still having his great physical prowess in battle and weapons. Despite the fact that they are outnumbered, Hutch, his father, and his brother are confident in their fighting abilities and resilience, and they will easily eliminate all of these Russian thugs. The fight is brutal and intense. Hutch, on the other hand, is determined to protect this family. Finally, Hutch is up against Yulian Kuznetsov. The two fight fiercely and brutally. Both received powerful blows and were injured. Yulian is about to shoot Hutch, but Hutch rams him with an M18A1 claymore attached to a bulletproof glass pane, exploding in Julian's face and immediately kills him. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy the video.